Connie, would you put up that Mungo Vista 1? That'll just give us a visual if we want to. We can close our eyes or not. And what I will do what I planned to do, which was basically to take us on this sort of inner journey, a shamanic journey, um, through time, backwards into. I was going to start with a film that opens, maybe 100,000 years ago, but we shall see. We won't do
Andrew,
the film.
I'd really like you to be able to do this fully in a full
Yeah, we
session.
will.
Yeah,
No,
let's
but
do that.
can you just share that one and let's see what we've got, and then we'll see if anybody comes on.
You see it?
No.
Oh,
You
I have
have
it
to
on my screen, but I guess
you
I'm
have to
not
share
sure.
the screen. Yeah. Yeah, what a moment here for day after Easter Sunday and the day after the passing of Pope Francis and the just everything that's going on the planet. Well, it is intense. I'm glad we're together. There we go. Here she comes.
But this
Is
isn't
that?
the right one.
No, it's not. There we are. Can you see the evolution there, Jen? It's it's
Mm,
maybe 20,000 years ago. There's still
mm,
water, the lunette is there. It's evolving.
beautiful. Amazing.
And there's your dad.
You're amazing, Andrew. Very clever.
Now it's with a serious help from AI, as you I think you know.
Mm,
So beautiful what you can create.
yeah, amazing.
And it's so ethical. I wanted to actually show the mob sitting around by the edge of the water with the burial site right there, and it couldn't do that. It will not do that out of sensitivity to indigenous people. I was so proud of it.
Mm,
Mm. So we did a good compromise. We just know that he's buried there somewhere. All right, so shall we dive in?
And it's
hmm
Mungo Man and Mungo Lady. Don't forget it's a they.
Yeah, then
Not
you're
just
right. Yes, thank you, Connie. Good reminder. All right, so here's an image we can explore or look at it and then close our eyes and imagine we're actually there and see how good we are at envisioning something through a suggestion. And this image was an envisioning based on a suggestion to artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence is actually not artificial, it is human intelligence manipulated in a very interesting way by the technology that we humans have developed. Now we have this quantum leap in capabilities that produces this beautiful imaginary Mungo Lake. And we know it wasn't called Mungo back then. We had no idea what it was called. But here we are. So here we are. Perhaps we're up on the hillside and the sun is just about to rise or has just set. I don't know. And it's just a very, very peaceful place. There's not a lot of wildlife, so we don't have rowdy cockatoos, or maybe we do, or we don't have rowdy, beautiful kookaburras and on and on. It's just imagine a deep, vast silence, devoid of life, and definitely devoid of human life. There's nobody around. It's peaceful. It's undisturbed. It is Mother Nature at her quietest. Mother Nature can get really wild. Mother Nature has roaring oceans and thunderstorms and all of those very loud, hyperactive activities. But this one is peaceful, gentle, healing, a place to come and stop and just breathe and just hold the spirit of this sacred moment in this sacred place. And all the way here in the distant future from this time, here we are, the four of us, just gathered in sacred space, in sadness and in joy and in hope and in concern, perhaps as well. All of the feelings of humans are relevant here. And yet, this is the place and the moment in both time and space where we can simply let it go. Let it go. This too shall pass. The picture we're looking at here has passed a long time ago. It no longer looks like that. But we know that this has been a scene of vibrant human activity 42,000 years ago, and before that, and long after that, and even unto the present. You folks were just there a couple of months ago, and we were there a year ago. And it just retains a certain sacred quietness, eternity, timelessness. There's no rush. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to be done. There's no hurry. There's no worry, which is a very special thing to remember as humans in this rather frenetic modern life where it's hurry and worry and scurry. And yet, here we are, just able to feel and listen, perhaps listen to the beating of our own heart, maybe listen to the sounds of birds outside our modern day windows or wherever we are if we're outside. Here in Colorado, it's just getting dark, and the turkeys are flying up into the trees where they spend the night. And they've been mating season for turkeys, which is quite loud and wild and wonderful here in Colorado. And that's another magical, beautiful thing on this glorious planet that we call Gaia, or Mother Earth, or Pachamama. I don't even know what the Australian word is for the planet. I'd love to know. We'll find out. That's something I don't know. What is and there's, of course, so many languages. So beautiful just to breathe, to inhale and exhale, and to know that this air that we four are breathing right now is the very same air that Mungo Lady breathed, and Mungo Man breathed, and all of the animals down under, and all of the living sentient beings all over planet Earth, the same air that Jesus breathed, the same air that Pope Francis breathed, the same air that just everything, every deer, every elk, every elephant, every kangaroo, it's the same air consisting of the same molecules, the same atoms of hydrogen and oxygen. There's a certain sense of eternity, of timelessness, of the ability to say it's okay. We can let go. We can let go of fear. We can let go of the feeling that we should be doing something. At this time, no, let's just be something. Let's just be four humans connected electronically on a planet, two down under. And what's the opposite of down under? Up over. Here we are in the Northern Hemisphere, Connie and I and you two there. How extraordinary that is. That was not possible at the time of this picture we're looking at.
Andrew, Shayla's
Yeah.
just entering the room.
Lovely. Shayla, welcome, welcome, welcome. We love you.
I don't think she heard. She wouldn't have heard.
Yeah, Shayla, I see you unmuted. Welcome, welcome. We are sitting up on this hill looking down at Mungo Lake, probably about 20,000 years ago, long after Mungo Lady and Mungo Man, and long before Jim Bowler, in that space between. And we're just in this deep into this timeless, peaceful meditation. It's so quiet. It's so peaceful. It's so reassuring. There's nothing to do but gaze out at the horizon and the beautiful formations that this imaginary picture of Mungo Lake brings up in, certainly in my mind. Connie, perhaps you could go to Mungo Vista number 2, and we'll just have a change. It's exactly the same scene in a very different time period. Here we are. Can you fill the screen? Beautiful, thank you. This is round about the time of 40 to 50,000 years ago. There are megafauna, there are humans. We are there, and these extraordinary animals are here. And it's the same lake in a phase of tropical forestation. And it's alive, it's full of just the evolution of diversity on this planet. And it's loud. I mean, I just wish we could hear all of the birds in all of those trees and all of the sounds of everything, including the sounds of human voices. Peaceful and yet exuberant, full of life, full of joy, full of beauty, full of food. There's plenty for everyone. And everyone lives together in harmony. The four-leggeds, the two-leggeds, the swimming ones, the flying ones, the space alien ones who no doubt come to visit from time to time and just cruise on by and look at what's going on this beautiful, beautiful Mama Gaia of ours. And again, a time of no hurry, no worry, no rush, no job to go to, no money to make. None of those things exist in this reality. It's just gentle and peaceful and timeless. And it's where we humans emerged from. This is a step on the journey that we took all the way, perhaps at this moment, let's just say it's 42,000 years ago or thereabouts, all the way back to Africa, where Africa too was largely forest and jungle and humans, but very few humans, population so low, and the population of everything else so high, just vast numbers of species, many of them now extinct, now gone. Only their memories live. Only these images that we've been able to create of these fauna and other creatures that came and stayed for a long time. And of course, this is long after the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs was 65 million years ago. This is only 40,000 years ago, not long ago. Connie, change the picture again, and let's bring it into Mungo Lady and Mungo Man and their mob. Let's see what they're up to tonight. Aha. Yep. I think it's getting to be dinner time. Think of Mungo Lake when it was like that. Lots more humans, less wildlife. It looks like we're taking over just a little bit, and certainly in this scene. And we're pretty busy. We've got fires going, we're cooking, we've been hunting, we've been fishing, we've been gathering. And yet it's still peaceful. To me, the sense of tranquility as that late sun slants down through the trees, through the gum trees, and hits the water at the end of the day. It's a lot like a campground in today's world. Not so different. We're by the water, we're preparing food, there are animals around. There's no doubt lots of exuberance up in the trees with the bird life. And every so often there's a splash and it's a fish jumping. And certainly there could be crocodiles and snakes and creatures you have to be a little careful of. And yet, look, we can live together on planet Earth. We can live with each other in harmony. We can live with the other members of creation. Just be together. I love the guy with his hands on his hips and he's just watching he's keeping an eye on the kids, yeah, but everybody's very peaceful. I don't get any sense of danger or threat. I don't get any sense that there might be dangerous neighbors, dangerous human neighbors. I don't see any weapons. And those large megafauna creatures, they certainly don't seem aggressive. And we're not chasing them, we're not hunting them, we're just being together, sharing space. And Connie, let's come forward now into the period immediately after the cremation of Mungo Lady and the burial of Mungo Man. And let's just see what that looks like. So, okay. This is in that era. They're still alive. They haven't passed on yet in this one. Look at the guy on the extreme left there. He looks a lot like my son Daniel. He really does. My son Daniel looks fuzzy and furry like that. And they've got just the stars are out. Look at the Milky Way. Wow, it's wild. So beautiful. What a planet we live on. What a species we are. Despite everything, what a species the human phenomenon is. Look at the beauty we've created. Look at the beauty we've shared. Certainly, we've had our misguided moments, far too many of them. But at the same time, look at the wonder, the sense of wonder, sitting around the fire, just listening to the grandfather telling an ancient story that his ancestors told in Africa before this mob even knew there was such a thing as an Australia. These bloodlines, these roots, they go back hundreds of thousands of years. And we don't know how many hundreds, but we're thinking at least 300,000 years, fully modern humans, no different at all from this little group of us here, these five of us. Same people, same species, different languages, different understandings, perhaps, but our needs are the same, our emotions are the same. We love the same way. We love our children, we love each other, and we share our concerns. And every so often, somebody passes. And what do we do when somebody passes? We gather in a circle and we light a fire and we just sit and they speak to us from the spirit world. Connie, can you go to that one? That'll be number 5 and the last. Yeah. Here we are. And our beloved elders have passed, but they're not gone. They're just on the other side. They're not gone. They're not absent. They're fully present. If you listen carefully, they will guide you. They will take your children and educate them. They will show you where the animals are as in their migrations. They'll show you where the roots and the plants are, that you now note how the environment is changing. That tropical lushness has gone. We're in a much drier season here. There's still plenty of water in the lake, but it is, it's not as easy as it used to be. And we're certainly going to miss our beloved elders who knew so much. However, they also have passed down every item of information, of story, of everything that we need to know going forward into the future as humans, as with our fellow loved ones. The sun setting and the fire is very pleasant. And while we miss those who have passed, even right now, this day, this very day, a beloved elder has passed. Yes, and on Saturday we were with a beloved elder here who's in hospice in Boulder, Colorado. He's 88 years old and he's not long for this world. And he's a beloved best friend. And Connie and I spent sacred, beautiful time with him. And he was in great spirits. And every word he said was cosmic. Ah. And finally, he and I did a mad dance together. And we shouldn't have done that because he's supposed to be in hospice and he's supposed to be dying, not dancing, but we danced anyway. It was the last dance, and he actually fell over, and it was kind of scary because we really shouldn't have done that. But we are humans, and yeah, we do what we do. It's the most extraordinary thing to be a human. Can you imagine what it took to put this little group of us here on this beach with this fire and this lake and these clouds and those sand dunes over there? What it took for this to appear, to manifest, how many billions of years it took for our planet to form, for it to cool enough, for water to become liquid, for life to begin, for consciousness to emerge into the massive, extraordinary, exuberant diversity of creation. And then to find ourselves here in this sacred moment around the fire together. Let's just sit here around the fire and listen to the crackle of the flames. And slowly, first one, and then another, and another, and another, a song begins. A song, an ancient song, a song with no words, a song, the same song that sang the universe into existence at the beginning. We remember, we have not forgotten, and we remember the song, the wordless words of the song, the intonations, the ancient sounds going all the way back, even into the millions of years of the development of our species, long before Homo sapiens, long before Homo erectus, long before all the branches of hominids, back to Australopithecus in Africa, back to the one now known as Lucy in present-day Ethiopia. She's millions of years old, and she too loved. She too had family. She had a mother, a father, children, a man or men in her life, sisters, aunties, grandmothers, uncles, and they sang the same song, the sweet, endless, wordless song of creation that echoes all the way to the far ends of the universe and all the way back again. And I think with that, we can either close our eyes and just keep breathing, be aware of our breath. And gradually, if we've been off on some faraway journey, we're invited back into this magical room with the five of us here. I think it's no, Joan is here. Yay, Joan is here. Hello, Joan. There's six of us now. We are multiplying. The mob is multiplying. Let's open our eyes, welcome ourselves back into this room and look around at each other and go, wow, what a phenomenon we are. Let us not forget that. It took a lot to get us here. And it's going to take a lot to get rid of us. On that humorous note, let's open our eyes. We are back at Mungo Lake 22,000 years ago. Wow, look at that. How can it be? Thanks, Connie. You did a beautiful job. And I am done. I am complete. Yeah, Connie, just share your screen and let's see what we've got here. Jim, I made some pictures of Mungo Lake in different eras. There. That's in my imagination about 20,000 years ago. It's not completely dried up yet, but the lunette is there. And we spent a lot of time in meditation sitting up here on the hill, just right up here. Look, there's not even a footprint. You can see a little path down there where maybe some animals go down to the water. And Mungo Lady and Mungo Man are down there somewhere until Jim Bowler comes along.
Okay. Okay, that's pretty amazing, Andrew. Amazing.
Little help from AI, Jim.
Amazing.
So amazing what you can do these days. Okay. Are you going numerically, Connie?
Yes.
Okay, so here we are now. We're about 40 or 50,000 years ago, there are humans, but there are more animals and megafauna than there are humans. And I want to go live there. I don't know about you folks.
Yes, that's the country that people arrived in. Amazing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Jim. Yeah, right. What an extraordinary thing to just come walking into that, to be the first humans to experience these. And here we are with the humans multiplying and still living in harmony with the exuberance of nature. The gum trees are the same and it's full of birds. Can you hear the birds? It's just amazing. We need a soundtrack for this.
That's incredible.
Andrew did a whole beautiful meditation. You guys will have to listen to it.
Oh, it's
The
recorded,
recording.
right?
It's
And
very,
look,
very
here's a nighttime shot, just the grandfathers telling us some ancient stories about actually talking about Africa, talking about how we got here from there and how long it took and how different the animals are and how different the creatures are that our great grandparents lived among.
Yes, Andrew, that you're bringing together here the great cosmic mystery, the arrival of consciousness on a land previously without people.
And here, Jim, our beloved folks whose names we in this time do not know. We call them Mungo Lady and we call them Mungo Man. And here we are in another phase. There are the dunes over there in a completely different configuration and the sand. And we are grieving. We're grieving the loss of our beloved elders. And at the same time, recognizing that they had passed on to us every piece of information, of wisdom, of plant lore, whatever it was that made life safe and joyful for us. They've left us, and that's sad, but there's the joy of knowing they're right here, right now, just on the other side of the veil, just the way we will one day be on the other side of the veil from our current families. Yeah.
Yes, Andrew, there's a profound mysteries incorporated in that series of reconstructions. The profound mystery of consciousness in a land which has given rise to those very people and our joint dependence upon those cosmic events that brought people and nature together.
And that's where we ended the story, didn't we, Connie?
Yeah. And now it's the time of the resurrection and the time of humanity resurrecting into what the ancestors have been holding for us, for our connection to the dream time and our living in alignment with it. So that's the exciting time right now in this time of resurrection for us to just know this, that humanity is moving into our hearts and into that space that those ancestors created for us and held for us, and in anticipation of our evolutionary upward spiral into the love that is all things.
Yes, Connie, one of the great challenges now here, as I see in Australia, is to recognise that in that emergence from Africa over 100,000 years ago, for the first time, these two migrating groups, the Indigenous people of Australia who went to the east, and our European ancestors who went north to eventually evolve in the European context. And then those great evolutionary changes of urban development and science and the convergence then of those European emergence to meet up in Australia with those people who had retained their connection from the first people in Africa through their dreaming and their connection to environment, in great contrast with that which we arrived of our European dependence on the web of science and meeting up now with those two migrating groups meeting here and attempting to understand each other in Australia. The secret to our situation now is for we of the scientific background to take time to invite, or to ask to be seated with their Indigenous cousins, and now to explore the wisdom that they brought with them from Africa, the wisdom of the dreaming, which we of scientific Australia has consistently refused to understand. There's a lot of new understanding to be embraced here, a challenge now awaiting us as we speak, as coming to the end of my life. That is the challenge I see going on for the future.
Yes, indeed, Jim. Thank you. That was a
Jim,
beautiful statement.
you've articulated it so beautifully, and it's exactly what's happening, because leading edge science is proving the holographic fractal nature of the universe that the indigenous people have been in contact with forever. The telepathic communication, the healing, the extraordinary things that modern prior science, reductionist science, couldn't explain, so they just threw it out the door. But now leading edge science is taking us there. So you're just so right that bringing the Dreamtime and the science together is that evolutionary process. And you've been such a key piece to that, Jim, with Mungo coming to you with your science and your philosophical underpinnings of your divine connection. So you've just been a key catalyst, and we are all eternally grateful.
Okay, thank you, Connie. I'm still have. I fall short of delivery. That's my problem at the moment.
Well, you're so articulate, you're so brilliant and so articulate and so on point on the evolution. You're emergent. That's the problem, dear one. You're ahead of that curve, that on that spiral. So just know that every word you say and everything you've done has affected the collective consciousness and is affecting this onward movement, this upward movement in consciousness.
And
Okay,
Jim,
okay.
Jim,
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I shall probably retire now. I've got a few other things I have to.
Just
all right.
before you go, I'd just like to invite Bill or Shayla just to say a quick word just before you go. Bill, would you like to say anything?
Yeah.
Jim, I mean, we're touching such a deep mystery of the evolution and the spirit, the great spirit, and we're being drawn. And Jim, your contribution's been outstanding. Right. And you've uncovered something that has its own life beyond science, beyond spirituality. And I suppose I'd come back again to the powers of the universe, the wisdom, the feminine. Wisdom is feminine. The Mother Earth. I mean, there's all these little interconnections going on, and we're living it. We're living through that, like Andrew is saying, Connie. We're living in it. Something quite extraordinary is happening. And Jim, you're part of it. Thank God you're part of it. Whoever God is.
Okay, thank you, Bill.
And Jenny, I don't want to underestimate or Jane, I don't want to underestimate your place in it all. Oh, golly. Like Andrew was trying to point out the specialness of each one of us. Yeah. But the two of you have made such a contribution. Look up in the top corner, that woman up there, what she's doing. Extraordinary. If that's where she is on your screen, that's where she is on my screen.
Jenny, you're speaking of Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny's on my top left as well. So Jenny, there you are.
Carrying on.
Well, it is an auspicious moment, Dad, if you're still there, and Bill, of course, with your background and all of us being here. Shayla, you walk in country for so many years, and Andrew and Connie living your stories into all of this is it's quite a moment, really. And Dad, I know you're distracted, and Mum, you're going through a lot. But as I said before, we're all a bit distracted today, but we've come here in this moment, and it's quite amazing in this story that's just evolving, and we're all in it right now. The shifting.